Welcome back to my views and news. It seems, viewers, that Ethiopian PM Abiy is under pressure. How will he sustain? How will he manage to get out of this situation, which is becoming increasingly difficult for him? That is what we learned through some people close to ongoing developments. What is the nature of pressure upon the government, especially upon the Prime Minister? Did he make some promises in the past and now it is becoming difficult for him to keep the promises? It seems to be the case. Before that, two foreign ministers arrived in Ethiopia 48 hours ago from France and Germany. And several news sources reported that they delivered a very strong message to PM Abiy when they met him, when they reported that the government should ensure accountability, that accountability for war crimes is prerequisite for restoration of financial aid for Ethiopia. By the way, I don't agree with this conclusion that the two ladies visited Ethiopia to put pressure upon PM Abiy. I don't agree with this conclusion. Yes, they might have talked about accountability, about investigations, about UN inquiry commission, but the visit indicates that EU wants to repair its fractured ties with Ethiopia. EU wants to remain as a relevant player in the Horn of Africa, in Ethiopia. European countries are interested in privatization started by Ethiopian government. They are seeing some opportunities, economic opportunities in Ethiopia, and they want restoration of some agreements. Sale of weapons to Ethiopia suspended last year, around 2 years ago, because Turkey and UAE are emerging new defense partners of Ethiopia, especially Turkey. So their visit had their interests on their agenda. Yes, they did speak about the need for holding people accountable, but I don't think they'll emphasize and they'll follow up their demands for accountability. Yes, they'll keep on mentioning accountability, but if they are so interested in accountability, why do they have to come all the way from France and Germany to Ethiopia to send this message? They are here because they want to remain as players in Ethiopia. They are backing, supporting the funding of the implementation of peace deal. They are funding reconstruction of Tigray. That is what my analysis is. So what others are reporting that they send a very strong message, I don't agree with that. So PM Abiy is under pressure, not from EU or US, but from within. Question is, why did Amhara region join the war against Tigray in November 2020? Were there any promises made? Obviously, one objective was to weaken TPLF because TPLF was threatening. TPLF was threatening to reassert its clout in Ethiopia. That is what was the main purpose, that all political players in Ethiopia, they united against TPLF. That was one main objective, to weaken TPLF. But apart from that, Amhara regional government, Amhara PP, they wanted two zones, Raya and Volkayet. Raya, southern Tigray, Volkayet, Humaira Sagade, western Tigray. They were promised that at least Volkayet will be theirs. That is why they joined the fight against Tigray, and they suffered the consequences as well, because in 2021, Tigray forces ravaged North Wollo, parts of South Wollo. Millions were displaced, killed as well, infrastructure destroyed. So they paid the price too. And now they're in control of both zones, Raya, Volkayet. And now what is being said? It is being said that the issue of Raya and Volkayet will be decided in accordance with Ethiopian constitution. Referendum, idea of referendum is being floated by PM Abiy, by federal government, of which Amhara political elite is part. But we saw that in Bahirdar at Prosperity Party meetings a few days ago, lower and middle level Prosperity Party officials, thousands of them, they rejected the idea of holding a referendum in Volkayet. They said Volkayet is Amhara. How will PM Abiy appease Amhara political elite, Amhara Prosperity Party, Amhara hardliners? Already we are seeing that since March last year, action has been taken against hardliners in the Amhara region. Fano commanders arrested, Fano fighters arrested, journalists put in prison, activists arrested, two political workers arrested as well. So we are seeing an attempt from the federal government to silence dissidents in the Amhara region. Amhara PP wants to remain in control of both Raya and Volkayet, especially Volkayet. But indirectly, message is being shared by PM Abiy that the issue will be resolved constitutionally, that a referendum could be held. And idea of referendum is hard to understand, especially in Volkayet. When you say that the issue will be resolved constitutionally, most people conclude it means the two zones will be part of Tigray. Or if referendum is held in these two zones, majority of residents is Tigrayan, so the reason the two zones could become part of Tigray. So idea of referendum, especially in Volkayet, is being resisted by Amhara Prosperity Party, Amhara hardliners. That is a challenge for PM Abiy. In the next video, we'll try to analyze how will PM Abiy try to find a solution. So far, what we are discussing is that PM Abiy is under pressure. No doubt about that. The promises he and his government made were that Volkayet would be Amhara, Raya too. But now we are seeing that frustration is being seen in the Amhara region. And that could lead to pushing of Amhara people, Amhara elite, closer to Eritrea. Amhara-Eritrea alliance could be strengthened against the federal government, which could be another pain in the side of Ethiopian federal government. How will PM Abiy resolve the issue of Volkayet and Raya? I personally think that Amhara PP could make a compromise on Raya, southern Tigray, but not Volkayet. We saw that in 2021 when the Tigray forces took back Raya, Koram, Alamata. But they were not allowed to retake Volkayet, though they made several attempts, but they could not. So what is the solution now? How will PM Abiy keep his alliance with Amhara elite intact? Yes, Amhara PP leadership might not rebel, but there could be formation of other resistance movements, groups in Amhara region. People like Colonel Damak Zadu will definitely resist any announcement of referendum in Volkayt. In a separate, we will try to analyze the idea of holding a referendum. How doable is this idea? So far, what I'm saying is that PM Abiy is under pressure from Amhara elite. Amhara PP, two main issues. One is Volkayt and the other one is Valega. In Valega, let's analyze Valega in a separate video. But so far, main issue, main point of concern for the government is Volkayt. Amhara groups are not withdrawing from their position that Volkayt is Amhara, and PM Abiy's PP leadership and TPLF are on good terms these days. TPLF is hoping to regain Volkayt.